Hi, I'm Elena and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to cover a couple of really cool use cases that I've been exploring myself in ChatGPT. If you're an entrepreneur, solopreneur, online business owner, coach, course creator, parent, I think everyone will get something useful from this. If you like this video, hit that subscribe button. Let me know in the comments which one was your favorite. I'm super excited to share them with you. Let's just go ahead and start with the first one. Also, if you want to download this Google Doc with all the prompts, download it for free in the description below. The first use case is, I think it's really interesting and it's been really helpful for me. I am currently building a school community that you can, by the way, sign up for the waiting list below in the video description. But basically, I'm working on creating a minimal viable community or minimal viable content for this community, right? So when people come into school, they will understand what kind of value I'm providing, because I've been creating content for a couple of months now. I've been sending newsletters, creating YouTube videos, creating lead magnets and freebies. From the beginning, my approach was to provide as much value as possible. I just thought the other day, what if I just feed all this information to ChatGPT, like everything that I've created, and ask it to see what is the common thread, right? Like what is potentially a core framework or journey that I'm taking people through, right? I wanted to organize my thoughts of what I've been teaching, what I've been putting out there, and see if there is any red thread to that. You can use this prompt. I actually went ahead, since I've been using ChatGPT for such a long time, and said, based on everything you know about me and my business and my goals, help me extract my signature framework or my approach. I've attached a lot of things such as my freebies, the downloads. I've attached transcripts from my YouTube videos to this chat. Basically, it helped me to create the core structure of what you've been talking about. Different phases of a journey for a solopreneur to build a business with AI, right? Based on passion, authenticity, and so on. Phase one would be clarifying direction and offer. I've had videos on how to identify your sweet spot with Ikigai, how to find your business ideas, how to generate ideas with different prompts. So it really kind of like spot on just extracted this phase. The same with the phase number 2. I have a lot of videos and freebies about how to build your first product, how to build a digital product, then how to create content to promote this product. So you see, like it's really just mapped into 5 things that I'm talking about in different ways, that I'm talking to ChatGPT about in different ways. It's knowing where I want to take my business, right? Like what are my goals? What kind of value I want to provide? It created this magnificent framework and recommended how I can approach it in school. I uploaded a little bit more of my YouTube videos and it started refining it. It's like a 5-phase journey. That is a great starting point for me. I actually can start and work on this and iterate this. It really helps me to structure my thoughts in a concise way, and I appreciate that. I think you will find value from this. Just give it a try and copy this prompt. If you have been using this for a while, go ahead and add this. If you haven't, if you're just starting out, just like start with the prompt. But also you can ask it to ask you questions, right? About your business, about your goals. And then if you already have content to feed it, then go ahead and do it. Okay. Use case number 2. I was really blown away by this actually. I started playing around with Replit not so long ago. Replit is a no-code tool. I was just really looking for a use case to test it out. Recently, the leg of my business that will provide AI and automation services for small businesses, online entrepreneurs, sort of that kind of, done for you automations and things like that. So it started taking shape recently, right? So I know what my offer is. I've been working with some clients already and I have a good starting point. I wanted to create a super simple website that has previously been a time drainer for me, because I sign up for Squarespace or any other website builder and get drowned in fine-tuning and customizing, and it just wastes a lot of time and I'm never actually releasing it. So this time I wanted to challenge myself, and I wanted, of course, to tap into the more agentic AI and use an AI agent to help me create a website. So what I did is that I asked ChatGPT to create a prompt that I can use in one of the no-code tools. Again, since I've been using ChatGPT for such a long time, it's built its memory on what is my AI and automation services are about. I didn't really even have to explain this. I just said, based on what you know about my freelance service or the AI automation service that I'm providing to small businesses, online businesses, creators, and so on, can you help me create a very simple web page prompt that I can feed into Replit to ask it to create this web page? The prompt was super simple. I want to create a one-page landing page for it's called Future Self Operation System, OS, AI automation services. Based on what you know about my business, create a prompt for Replit. And from there, I just literally copied paste this prompt. Then I just fine-tuned this prompt a little bit, and then I went to Replit. I've never used it before. I actually just signed up yesterday. So I signed up for the free account, and then I upgraded when I ran out of credits to like a $25 a month. And this is what it created in like less than an hour. I have a homepage where it really nailed the message. I'm put off by all this tech bro kind of automation, super masculine way of talking about it. Really turns me off. And I know it does so for a lot of other people. For me, it was like, okay, I really want to tap into the like myself kind of client, right? Someone who really knows the value and understands that there's so much opportunities into this, but maybe don't have the time or just like really feeling overwhelmed with this. Your nervous system called. It wants an AI automation workflow. I don't know, maybe it's super tacky, but I thought it was really cool. So it creates all the responsive, like look at this beautiful gradient buttons that I really loved, and I actually prompted it extra to create that. Who is it for? And I haven't provided this information exactly. Like this partly came from ChatGPT, partly Replit already provides a suggestion and then you iterate from there, right? So here I created like, okay, what are my first offers? Is the audit or done for you automation setup? And then the testimonials, something about me, and then how to book a call. This is the homepage. All I need to do now is tweak it, like add different images if I want to, and then just deploy it. That will be a fully functioning homepage where people can sign up and reach out for my services. The first time I tried Replit, I did a mistake because I went in and I said, like, I want a website for this and that. It was a super short prompt, and the outcome, I mean, it wasn't really great. It was an okay starting point, but I would have to iterate so many times, which means I would have to use a lot of credits, right? But when you start in ChatGPT and you ask ChatGPT to create a prompt for Replit, it will know exactly what this prompt should contain. So for me, it was like such a hack to try. I have a ready homepage now that I just need to tweak a bit and deploy it. And that's it. That is quite incredible. Just play around with that. If you have some examples of websites you like, for example, you can attach a link to either ChatGPT and ask it to analyze it. You can attach a link to Replit as well. It will be able to read and sort of put it into action. But I would suggest still do the majority of job in ChatGPT. You can also ask it to optimize for conversion. If you're creating a sales page, for example, or a landing page, you can add this like how to optimize for the highest conversion, how to create the storyline for your customer's journey. Use as much as knowledge as you already have, but if you're just starting out, it could be as simple as that. And then you can always go from there. If you want a separate tutorial on Replit, let me know in the comments. I'm happy to go into more details. The next one that I use absolutely every week, because I do have a newsletter, is creating newsletters. For this one, I do it in Claude, but you can do it in ChatGPT as well. I'm going to show you how to. So we're actually in Claude now. You can do exactly the same in ChatGPT. It's just projects appeared in Claude first, and I started using it there first. So that's why I'm kind of like used to doing it here. I created a project, and in the project, you can create custom instructions, right? What is your style, your voice, your tone? I have created my own personalized one. If you're interested how to do it, let me know in the comment below, and I will create a video on that, because that takes like a couple of steps to get really good. I have saved it into the instructions. I've also attached my previous newsletters, especially the ones that I really like, or like that have been performing well. I also have my ideal customer profile, and that, if you've seen my previous videos, we've also created with ChatGPT. And then I also have examples of other newsletters that I really love, something that captures me, something I'm following. I attach those examples as well. Every week, I usually start a chat by saying that, okay, it's this time of the week again. Let's create this week's newsletter. If you just send this prompt out, Claude will already get back to you with a draft, but I'm actually never relying on that draft. I brain dump all my thoughts. During the week, I think a lot about what I've been doing, what I've been trying out, what I have learned, right? What prompts have I used? What use cases have I had? What news I read? What happened in my world? I brain dump that into a voice memo. So I use it on my phone. If you use a mobile version, you can press the mic button and record as long as you want. Everything you want to say, you attach the links of the news that you want to use in your newsletter. I always attach a transcript of my YouTube video that I've recorded this week, if that kind of falls into the topics that I want to talk about. I basically add everything I've created. It could be a freebie, it could be like if I had a coaching call with someone, I would attach a transcript of that or some takeaways from that. So I'll feed everything what happened to me this week. And it's just gonna, based on that, create a really, really good draft for my newsletter. Always a starting point. And then I will add, and I will always refine things, because I think newsletter is one of this really important tools of building relationships with your audience. And I have no intention in just like, really copy pasting from AI without having anything from me, even though I trained it on me, right? To me, it's really important. I put a lot of effort into those newsletters. This is such a great way, because my memory is not great. I miss a lot of things, but I'm more comfortable speaking than writing. So that works for me, summarizing my thoughts and everything I've created, and then put that into writing. Okay, let's move on. Number 4, I'm going to give you an example. The past week, I have felt really overwhelmed. The reason was because I'm kind of thriving on being a multi-passionate person. I talk a lot about how multi-passionate people can leverage these tools and basically create everything, because there's so many opportunities, right? And I increasingly, and I know this in myself because I've been doing a lot of inner work, I can easily get overwhelmed. I get all these ideas, I start all these ideas, right? Before the time comes for me to actually go through with that, until a certain degree, like I already have a new idea that I'm exploring. And it's both like, this is a fun part with how my brain works, but it's also the part that I sometimes feel like, okay, I have all these 5 projects started at the same time, but I don't feel like I'm making enough progress. For example, with the school community, I got super excited starting that. I started working on that. I ran it with my audience. I got such a great response. So I know that this is something I will be building. But then I got sucked into the automation rabbit hole and started working with people, like helping them creating like make.com automations. And I just, I came to ChatGPT last week and I'm like, okay, this is where I am. I'm really overwhelmed right now. Based on everything you know about me, because all of those rabbit holes and interactions and brainstorming, that is also happening with ChatGPT, right? So based on everything you know about me, tell me where I'm stuck and how to get out of here, right? Like, what is the pattern that you're seeing that might be holding me back on my journey to achieving my goals? I created an example of prompt here. Again, this is the same advice. If you've been using ChatGPT for a while, just add based on everything you know about me, because now the memory feature is rolled out everywhere. If you haven't been using ChatGPT for a long time, just like go and iterate with this prompt. I got such a good response. It really snapped me. It was really kind of like, ouch, you know? I'm just gonna show you. Yeah, do you see any pattern that you think is holding me back? If so, suggest some ways that I can overcome there. It's like, based on everything you've shared and how you move, here's the pattern I've noticed. You're visionary and have a powerful capacity to generate creative, alliance, high leverage income ideas, but you tend to get stuck between ideation and execution, especially when there is no immediate structure, you're toggling between multiple offers, and you're mentally over processing instead of letting your energy lead. And here it also integrating my human design profile, right? I've talked about this before. I really use it as a resource. This is how you can fix it, right? And then we went ahead into how to get myself out of there. This was incredibly helpful because I do tend, I create a lot of things. I put a lot of things out there, right? And sometimes I get stuck. This was a really helpful way for me to get unstuck again. I made so much progress after using this prompt. Next one is pretty similar, so I'm not going to go into this in much detail, but it's using ChatGPT as a productivity coach. As soon as I feel overwhelmed, I just jump into the voice note, right? And asking, based on everything you know about me, help me to navigate this right now. Ask me any additional questions you need to just really help me out here. And this has been my lifesaver, honestly. Since the memory feature got upgraded, it remembers so much and gives me insightful ways to move forward. Okay. Next one is for someone who has kids. I thought this is a really fun way to create some activities. So I've used it in 2 ways this past week. So first way is my kid has created this picture of himself. So that's the auto portrait. And I was just wondering, some rainy days here. So I'm wondering of an activity of that we can do together. And basically what I did is that I uploaded this image into Sora and asked it to create a video. This was just one of the first things. My idea is to create a cartoon and then the voiceover. So create a story of this character that I can do together with my son. I thought this was really cool. I also asked ChatGPT to create a prompt for Sora. The second way you can use it, and that is something we're also started doing with my son, because I do have an Etsy shop. I sell digital products there and print on demand product, and he kept saying I really want to do the same, and I really see it such a great opportunity to give AI skills to your children in a fun way, right? In a way that is led by their curiosity. So if he tells me he wants to create products with his pictures, then we're going to create products with his pictures, right? Here we can use the prompt of asking ChatGPT to create my son's artwork into print-on-demand brand and include some potential product ideas, niche angles, and brand stories that can resonate. So this is a really fun thing, and I'm really excited to continuing with that and having some fun with my kids. Okay, next one is YouTube transcript repurposing, and I'm going to show you how I do this quickly. The way I get transcripts for my YouTube videos, I go to Notebook LM, and I think there are probably paid tools to do this, but I just realized that I can do it in Notebook LM, which is free. So Notebook LM, google.com, you go to the interface and press create new, and then you can add different sources. You can add Google Docs, YouTube videos, and text. You just put YouTube video here if you have one. So I'm going to go to the one that I've already uploaded. I've uploaded 3 of my YouTube videos, and all you need to do is press on one of them, and here will be the transcript. I will just copy paste it. Go to ChatGPT. Just use this prompt as a starting point. Also ask ChatGPT to create a better prompt, right? You already know how this simple prompt can be improved. I copy paste the prompt. I would definitely refine that. I use a specific project for that, but if you just want to get started, I just wanted to show this as an example. How it can repurpose a long form content into short form content, right? And also like think about it this way. For me, this is the YouTube videos, right? If you don't have YouTube videos, if you don't have a YouTube channel, but you have other types, so for example, you have your newsletter or blog, or let's say even you work with clients, right? And you record your client meetings, which I highly recommend doing, of course, with consent of your clients, but use AI to transcribe everything in the meeting, because that becomes a really long form content of what your customers are struggling with, powerful input. So just copy paste it here, and then it will give you the next, structure. So from the structure, if you like it, you can just say, elaborate on that. This is a newsletter draft. This is 3 short form video hooks. This is a really cool way to make it come from your content and not just start from scratch every single time. Okay. Yes, this maintenance use case, I would say, in a sense that since ChatGPT has upgraded its memory feature a couple of weeks ago, it now remembers more across the conversations, which I was kind of skeptical about, because since I'm working on different income streams, I'm like, how will this keep it separate? But honestly, so far, I'm only seeing the very positive things. What I wanted to suggest here as a use case is, for example, when you interact and you wanted to remember some information, you can ask it to save to its memory. Let's say you had a really long conversation with ChatGPT and you arrived at something that is truly, you're like, oh my God, this is it, we got here. Ask it right there to add it to the memory, and it will add it to the memory. So that is one way of leveling up your memory, like for the best results. Secondly, if you haven't created your custom instructions, I really encourage you to do that. You go under Customize ChatGPT, and then you describe what you do, what kind of traits ChatGPT will have, and anything else. I've uploaded quite a lot of information here, so it knows about me and my business, and then it learns even more. That's one place where you can use it. Second place, you can create custom instructions into the project. Basically, you can provide instruction. Here's a bit more instructions in a specific project. Just make sure that it has this information. If you have a goal of building a certain type of business or a certain goal, make it known to ChatGPT, because if it knows that, it can provide you much more value. So this one I've tried very briefly, and basically, so let's say you've created your product, right? And you might have iterated with ChatGPT on this product. But you've created a product, you've understood the pain points of your audience or what your audience is asking for, you have created content, or it could be a course or a program, whatever it is. Then you can upload that into ChatGPT and ask it to really optimize it for you. And what I mean optimizing is like optimize for what it's more important for you. So for me, the most important thing is that I always optimize for the value that I can give, the transformation that I can give, the leverage that I can give to people interacting with this product. Even if it's a free resource, it's important because I want to build trust with my audience. So I want to provide as much value as possible. Basically, you upload a PDF. Let's just take an example. Let's start a new chat. So here's a prompt, and I'm just going to upload one of the freebies. Yeah, this is the freebie with the prompts that I've added to one of my YouTube videos. Lead magnet, like the workbook, we can call it the following workbook. Focus on suggesting any gaps that I can improve on, perceived transformation, content clarity, customer experience. My goal is to provide as much actionable value as possible without the overwhelm of massive amount of content. Super interesting. That said, 5 ways to add a visual business ecosystem. That's actually a good idea. Include micro case studies or snapshot of examples. Add a light touch progress tracker. I think that is a very good idea because a lot of people have difficulties with consistency. Not everyone is comfortable with delayed gratification, right? A lot of people who want to succeed in this online business space, they kind of assume it's going to happen really fast. adding some sort of a tracker to help people stay on track and to take steps even without their seeing results, it's a really, really good idea. An offer and companion AI workspace, and I think that's also referring a little bit to possibly my community. For example, you've done this exercises and you want to connect with people who are also exploring this. So we can get some really good ideas how to improve the offer. Okay, now this video is becoming longer than I expected, so I'm gonna move on to the next one. This one I thought is quite good, but maybe for certain type of people like myself. So I have my ecosystem of note-taking. It's so funny. I had a conversation with my friend the other day and she was like, Elena, I know you're using Notion in a very structured way. Like, tell me how you're using it. And I was embarrassed to admit my Notion is a mess. My notes on my phone is a mess. I have like 3 notepads with tons of scribbles in it. Like when I have ideas or when I sort of like analyzing or creating something, I like to use pen and paper. It's scattered all over the place. If you're like me, this is really good news. You can just collect all of this random things. So you can take a screenshot from your Notion page. For example, if you're collecting ideas or working on a project there, take screenshots of that. Take a picture of your notes in your physical notebook. And if you record voice notes to yourself, add that to ChatGPT just literally open a new chat. So add a bunch of things, transcribed voice memos, pictures, screenshots, whatever. And then basically ask it to create, the role is the offer designer, review the following voice notes, raw ideas, brain dumps, and identify 3 to 5 digital products, micro offers, paid resources I can turn this into. And I mean, you can ask it to create whatever. If you want like a coaching offer, it doesn't matter. Sort them by the effort and include a title, ID, and description. And just go with it and see what happens. So I thought this was a really cool use case to use ChatGPT, and I hope you try that. And the very last one, this is not the newest one, the deep research feature, so I really wanted to revisit that. We're gonna run this prompt and we're gonna enable the deep research feature. You can use run deep research. In my example, it's about solopreneurs, online business owners using AI and automation. I want to tap into what's the rising topics, what's the frustrations, tool trends, white space opportunities across Twitter, Reddit, YouTube, and indie creator platforms. Summarize your findings in 5 key trend insights, each with an example or thought. Because my target group is people who want to create authentic businesses, not only like to make money fast, but some want to create sustainable long-term businesses online with the help of AI that feel really good. So maybe solopreneurs using AI and online business owners using AI. When you use a research feature, it will always come back to you by asking and clarifying some questions. So I've had a separate video on that. You can go and watch that, but we're just going to answer these questions. Please add TikTok for trend analysis. Okay, and then we just send it out. So it understood the instructions, and this is going to take a couple of minutes. Okay, so the deep researcher has concluded, and it's giving us the 5 emerging trends. Let's check it out. AI solopreneurship goes mainstream. Backlash against cookie cutter AI content, recurring frustration, autonomous AI assistants and agents, I assume, as your virtual team. AI-powered personal clones and avatars, and untapped global audience via AI localizations. The opportunity is now, when you previously have been creating content in only one language, you can actually create content in every single language. This gives me a lot of interesting insights. I'm really loving the deep research feature. It's really powerful. You can see where the quotes are coming from, and it really creates a different output versus you would just prompt it in a chat, the regular model. So we're done, and I just want to say thank you so much for watching this video. Download this Google Doc if you want to use the prompts, and let me know if you try something. What are your favorite use cases with ChatGPT lately? I'm super curious. Like, let's source some community wisdom here, and just leave them in the comment. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.